can't keep my weight down.
It's probably pasta.
I love that Joe takes the first fucking guess. It's probably pasta.
Clearly, though, the difference between like the stuff that we get here, the stuff that they get in like Italy.
Yeah,
you eat in Italy,
totally
the same stuff, and you don't get fat.
Joe, we should go to Italy together, and I will step on the scale before, and I'll step on the scale after. Your boy can gain some fucking weight. We got gelato. We got what are the meats? The capicola. Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for RP Strength. I've been a longtime professor of sport and exercise science. I'm a competitive Brazilian Jiu Jitsu grappler, a competitive bodybuilder, and my best type of competition that I engage in is the following joke has been redacted by YouTube. In any case, today we get to watch a workout of Mr. Joe Rogan and Mr. Action Bronson, who is so alike to me, it's honestly like looking at a mirror. He's a bigger dude. He is a professionally trained chef, just like me. I trained in a small culinary school in the Alps region of France. I'm not sure where he trained, but I trained with the best. And he's also a rapper. And you guys might know this already, but your boy flows like I'm flowing even when I'm not flowing. You feel me? Half the shit I say rhymes. Just cuz. And I got that street cred because I'm out here dealing out gunshots. Isn't that the main part of being a rapper, is having an aggressive posture, to outsiders that would critique you? That's the best thing I'm at doing. The actual rapping, not so much. In any case, let's take a look at this workout, look at their banter, see if we can learn some stuff, see if we can make a few cringy jokes that might just let professional comedians do this. Shut up and teach us science. 3, 2, 1, science time.
We're in Austin, Texas.
Woo! Texas, man, it's like a whole other country. Like, okay, what kind of country is it? It's exactly like Oklahoma in every single way, except it's got more stuff. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Texan. No problem. Woo!
My man, Joe Rogan. Is that 3 sets?
I think that was only 2.
Cocksucker.
Yeah, I know that feeling. Like, that must have been 5. He's like, it was 1 set. Like, we got him working.
Just doing a slight little warm-up.
Bodyweight squats are an excellent warm-up. Joe's going to put this guy through the paces. My God. The last person I'd want to work out with is Joe Rogan, because Joe's tough and he's been working out for a long time and he's all like MMA based and shit. This is going to suck, like in the best way possible. I'm just glad I'm not doing it.
Do I look like shit though?
No.
I look all right?
Yeah, the tone of voice there is perfect. Here's the thing, folks. Let's talk about body image really quick. You look exactly how you look. And almost no one, perhaps no one, will ever tell you that shit to your face. And if people don't tell you shit to your face, in the best way possible, consensually, of course, with condoms, you look like how you look. And if you want to look better, put in the work to look better. If you like how you look already, what anyone else thinks, social standards, all that. So if you're feeling kind of less than your swag a little bit, you put on some extra weight, you have 2 choices. Either deal with that shit and just live your best life. God bless you. I won't ever judge you a day in my life. And for everyone who judges you, they're pathetic incels who have only a keyboard and nothing else. Or do something about it and then like the other version of yourself. That in between self-hatred does no one any good, specifically you.
This is just a series that I always do. I always do at least 1 day of this every week, of this particular series. The specific movements are body weight, squats, push-ups. And then 3 sets of swings, 10 each arm. 3 sets of clean press, 10 each arm. 3 sets of windmill, 10 each arm. And 3 sets of renegade rows, 10 each arm.
That's a hell of a series. That's a pretty intense whole body workout, especially if you don't rest long between. If you just have a kettlebell or a few kettlebells lying around, this is a fucking sweet workout. It will get that ass moving, cause some strength gains, cause some hypertrophy gains. Great for overall conditioning and just becoming someone who's in better health cardiovascularly, but it will not be easy. Also, how old is Joe, Scott?
57.
No f***ing way.
57.
What?
Born August 11th, 1967.
57? Look at his fucking arm and his chest and his shoulder. Joe looks phenomenal. How much does he weigh? Is it true that he's like 200 pounds or some shit? He looks it. God damn, folks, age like Joe Rogan, for the love of God. But here's the thing, to Joe's huge credit, He's a rich ass, ultra successful, syndicated show host, comedian guy. That's who Joe is and was before he got his super reputable podcast fame arc. Here's how you construct someone who's healthy in their later years, has been in Hollywood forever, is a Caucasian male, and has tons of money. That always leads to great health, right? No wait, it mostly leads to alcoholism and being insanely out of shape and having a heart attack at 51. Joe took such concerted effort with his health and body composition. He trains so much. He gives, at the end of the day, regardless of which way you go, low carb, high carb, Joe gives a shit about what goes into his body. And Joe Rogan has the one critical sword of Damocles weapon against being in shitty shape: consistency. He lives that life. And for the next 5 minutes, Action Bronson, unfortunately for him, will also be living that life. Folks, Joe is a guy to look up to big time. And in my case, literally look up, because last I checked, I'm Scott, what am I, 5'2"?
Yes.
5'1 3/4.
High heels.
And I do wear heels most days of the week. If I don't see myself dressed as a woman, not a single drop of semen is coming out of my cock.
I like to do things that when I do Jiu Jitsu
It all
or
works.
kickboxing, it translates directly to that.
For sure.
Because the whole body is used to moving as a unit.
Yeah, if you're just getting into what exercises to choose, what sets and reps to do, how much weight to lift, and how to structure your weekly plan, so much uncertainty that it's easy to get overwhelmed. The RP Hypertrophy app removes all uncertainty and makes the training process precisely defined. Choose your pre-made workout plan from dozens available in the app, plug in your weights, and the app takes care of the rest for months of productive training. Ready? Click on the link in the description of this video to get started. If you're just getting into martial arts training and jiu-jitsu training, for example, like you're a white belt, you have no background in physical training, this kind of physical training is fucking unbelievable, because you're probably not getting enough jiu-jitsu training in your times that you roll to get close to your body's ability to recover from that kind of endurance-like total systemic exhaustion activity. So if you have 2 or 3 sessions a week where you do kettlebell complexes, bodyweight moves, and 3 or 4 sessions a week where you do jiu-jitsu with some technique and some rolling at the end, you end up kind of most days hitting that system, that cardiovascular system hard. And because you're a beginner, the kettlebells and the bodyweight stuff is going to be awesome for muscle growth and strength as well. As you progress in deeper and deeper into the athletic journey, if you really get high-level jiu-jitsu, the lifting starts to look a lot less like conditioning work and a lot more like sets of 5 to 10 hardcore heavy machine, barbell, and dumbbell compound moves, heavy loading, close to failure. And then you're just building that Gordon Ryan unfortunate strength for people to have to with. But beginning, and I mean beginning several few years of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, especially if you're not in overall decent shape when you come in, and you'll know it because you'll be throwing up a lot in practice, this is a phenomenal way to train.
I can't keep my weight down. Just can't do it. Garbage.
Yeah.
Not terrible. It's not great.
You got low at one point, right?
240, 275 right now.
It's probably pasta.
I love that Joe takes the first fucking guess is probably pasta. That's not wrong. You know, like pasta is one of those culprits. Like if you had to line up a bunch of high palatability, high calorie density foods and like mug shots and some shit, you're like, that pasta motherfucker, I've seen his face before. And he's like, I wasn't there at 9:58 p.m. on a Tuesday. It wasn't me. And you're like, shut up. Are you Alfredo or red sauce? He's like, technically both. Like, he fucking did it for sure. Is it the pasta? Let's see what Action Bronson has to say before I comment on the whole inevitability of the food palatability and weight management thing. And I have lots to say.
Pasta and bread, pizza.
You could do the same shit with burgers. You could do the same shit with a bunch of stuff. 9 Brazil nuts have 200 calories in them and 20 grams of fat. 9. I can make 9 Brazil nuts disappear in a second. And if you have nuts that are coated in some kind of fine powder, chocolatey powder, or even chocolate covered nuts, it's over. We have done a ton of research over the years as a community, as a medical community, as a sports community, as a nutrition community. And we realized that types of foods, ingredients, whatever, not much of that matters for weight control. What matters are primarily 2 factors: the palatability of food, how tasty it is, and the calorie density of food. So if you really like the taste of, let's say, fresh melons, You eat a whole melon, and that's like, I don't know, 200 calories. How many fucking whole melons can you eat until you blow up like a fucking seagull at a trash dump? It's just not possible for most people. So if you typically like the kinds of foods that don't have a really high calorie density, you're going to be totally fine almost all the time. On the other hand, if you have foods that have a really high calorie density, for example, a ton of pasta with olive oil and chicken, but none of it is flavored, there's no salt, the chicken was boiled, it wasn't grilled. Folks, there's only so much of that you can eat until you're like, dude, there's a crap load of calories per bite. You're going to take 3 bites and be like, I don't want any more of this. I didn't want this to begin with. So what happens when you take high calorie density and fucking tasty as shit, you put them together, you get burgers, pizza, pasta, ice cream, potato chips, and everything else that they call obesogenic food that has a high probability of leading into obesity. Now, because Action Bronson's a chef who has to make tasty food, by the way, if you follow him on Instagram, there's a lot of shit he posts there that's fucking delicious as shit. He has to try that all the time as part of his job. He's around that culture all the time. If you're eating high calorie, tasty foods, it can be low carb, it can be high carb, it doesn't matter. That's the issue. So in order for you to take control of your eating on that side of the equation, try to control how high calorie dense the food is. So eat more fresh veggies, fresh fruits, whole grains, things that have lots of volume, lots of fluids, and try to make sure that most of your meals aren't like the tastiest thing in the world. If you can do that and just eat basic foods most of the day that are filling but aren't super tasty, it's going to be really hard not to lose weight if you're over fat. And if you're already at a level that you like, it's going to be easy to maintain. And then every now and again, you can have some bullshit here and there, and it's no big deal because it's over time when most of your foods are high palatability. That's how you get into trouble. The other thing is, people have genetically different degrees of food drive, how much they like food, how much they like to look at it, how much they like to smell it, how much they like to eat it, and how full they get after eating a bunch of it. Huge genetic variance there. Nowadays, the modern weight loss drugs like semaglutide and tirzepatide, there's known as Ozempic and Wegovy and Zepbound and all that stuff, they can take your food drive and turn dial it as low as you like based with your doctor's consultation. So now we have medications that take food drive from a person who's psychotic about food just genetically and turn dial it to someone who just like thinks food is normal, and their body weight almost always follows. So Mr. Action Bronson, if you're following this, if you want to speak to a medical doctor or a medical professional about some of these weight loss drugs, they are safe, they are healthy, and you're probably better off taking them in most cases if you have trouble with obesity than not taking them. And that's all I'm going to say for now.
Do you do kettlebell swings?
Oh, yeah.
All right, we'll do 10 each arm. Engage those hamstrings. Get that lower back.
Hinge work is my favorite.
They're the greatest.
Woo!
Yeah. I'm quite public about thinking kettlebells are not optimal for hardly anything. They are fun to do, and they're cool to get some blood flow going and some work going. I don't love them, but we can all agree to disagree on that.
13 years old, I was seeing juice heads, all kinds of shit. That's what inspired me. I was in there working, 13 years old. Mm-hmm. Guy took me to the Lost Battalion, to try and do Olympic lifting. Never worked out. But I've been around the gym for a long time. This is a lifelong journey.
I've been around the gym a long time. I've got nothing out of it. Just a lot of pain and hate. I met a lot of guys, though. If you guys have any tips on how to talk to girls, please put them in the comments. For the love of God, I'm going to read all of them and I'm going to try to talk to my wife for the first time ever, really. It's an arranged marriage.
Then I go clean presses. I'll do right side, rest, then left side.
Gotcha.
The kettlebell clean and press really does involve so many muscles of the body. I mean, it's all the pulling musculature when you get it up here, some of the leg musculature when you transition, ton of the pushing musculature on the way up, bunch of shoulder stuff. It really is an awesome exercise to do if you just want to burn some fucking calories, get the body moving, and improve your cardiovascular fitness, and get a really good stimulus for hypertrophy and for strength along the way. Especially if you're a beginner and you're not ultra super Gordon Ryan strong, this is a really good thing to do. Folks, quick interruption. We have a members version of this video on the members channel. It is longer, it is uncut, it is extended. It's not really uncut because some of the stuff I say can't even make it to the members section, but it's less cut, so there's more insanity, and there's more stuff to learn and a great value for membership because all of these Exercise Scientist videos every Friday will come right to the members area first, and they're super extended. You get a lot of lulls or whatever the hell people like about when I talk on the internet. Go check that out there. Let's get back to the video.
Clearly, though, the difference between like the stuff that we get here, the stuff that they get in like Italy.
Yeah,
you eat in Italy
totally
the same stuff and you don't get fat.
Joe, we should go to Italy together, and I will step on the scale before and I'll step on the scale after. Your boy can gain some fucking weight. We got gelato, we got what are the meats, the capicola, right? All that shit. You got the fucking pan pizzas for yourself. The thing is, Italians have different genetics than the rest of us. They have a different lifestyle. They are marginally more physically active. A lot of their foods are kind of like, if you want to go and eat that all the time, great. They don't do as much convenience eating. They eat a little bit more with the family, and so you're not overdosing on crazy shit. And the other thing is, Italians also smoke like chimneys, and to be completely honest with you, cigarette smoking is one hell of an anorectic. You just want to eat less. So if you want to be Italian, just, the average Italian woman has like 5 cups of coffee and 18 cigarettes a day, and I think like maybe 1 fucking cannoli at the end of the night, and that's that. So yeah, the Italians can, if you insist on eating a fucking super tasty, convenient diet, you can also do it in Italy just fine.
Because we're spraying folic acid and it's all genetically modified wheat.
Yeah. GMO wheat has absolutely no more propensity to get you fatter or unhealthy than non-genetically modified wheat. As a matter of fact, all of the wheat you'll ever eat has been radically genetically modified since the original wheat that we started cultivating like 5,000 years ago. We just did it through not direct genetic modification, but selective breeding. The effect on the gene complexes is essentially undifferentiable.
It's all like...
Isn't that the shit that they need when they're pregnant? They give you folic acid?
He's not wrong. And you start looking like you're pregnant when you're not. Oh, Scott, you like that backwards dunk?
But folate is what your body naturally processes. Folic acid is the shit they spray on wheat. When you get like enriched flour, that's what that is. Your body doesn't know what to do with that. Your body's like, what the fuck is this?
It knows exactly what to do with that. Store it away like it does with everything else. Just so happens enriched flour has a higher calorie density and is oftentimes more palatable because all that nasty fiber's not in there. Ugh.
Yeah, but when you make cookies with the other shit, don't taste the same.
Boom! Facts. I like that the only response Joe had was a smile. He was like, yeah. Stop eating cookies, Action Bronson. TLDR.
The whole idea with windmills is we're working on range of motion. I dropped down to 50 pounds. I like it a little bit lighter with windmills.
You gotta show me windmills more. I can't get in that position.
Joe's strong. That's actually a lot to do on that.
It's so tough.
Just slowly work yourself into that position.
Listen, honestly, that's really good advice by itself. People say I can't get into a position. The position is the goal, but the journey may start very far from the position, and over reps, sets, sessions, weeks, and months, you get closer and closer to the end goal. So if you start not being able to do something completely, do it partially. And every rep by a little bit, every set by a little bit, every session by a little bit, get a little deeper, a little deeper, a little deeper, and fix your technique a little more, a little more, a little more. And over time, eventually, you're doing really good stuff.
Everything I do involves a lot of core. Strengthening your back and strengthening your abs and all the muscles that keep you stabilized.
Yep.
That's what keeps you from getting injured.
Core training is awesome. My preferred way to train core is through conventional resistance training. If you can deficit deadlift hundreds of pounds for sets of 5 to 10 or even 10 to 15, if you can do knee to face raises and a bunch of different kinds of sit-ups and crunches and machine crunches, especially with weight for sets of 5 to 15 reps, you're going to have the strongest possible core, because training like that through progressive overload and compound movements is just the way to get the strongest in anything. Isometric stabilization of core is dope, but stabilization isometrically is easy if you've built dynamic strength. So my preference on training core isn't to do Supermans or to do like kettlebell stuff. It's to do deficit deadlifts and to do really tough full range of motion abdominal exercises, good mornings, flexion rows, all that sort of thing. That's how you build the strongest core possible. This is a fine way to do it, but I think if you're really interested in core strength, consider the traditional approach. All right, that was awesome. I loved the conversation that these guys were having. I love the insights on food and weight control and the difficulty of like managing all that stuff in regular everyday life. Joe Rogan has a lot of smart shit to say, and he's in such unbelievable shape. He's living that life. And the fact that he's that fucking rich and famous and quite frankly, like 57 years old, that he still gives that much of a shit to keep his body and keep health, in peak health and performance, that's just super fucking laudable. And it takes a shitload of balls to come on like global television, expose yourself to crap loads of people, and be willing to learn and put yourself through a hard workout when you're not in the best shape ever. So mega 8 cheers for Action Bronson. And hey, big homie, if you ever want to get a fucking cook-off going plus a rap battle, to find out which one of us can really fucking do it. Anyway, I rank this workout and everyone had a great time and learned some things out of 10. I've been Dr. Mike, and I'll see you next time. Woo, that was fun. I feel both more actioned and more Bronson at the same time, which is a curious feeling, but I don't hate it. Something else you might not hate is right over here, and it's a video that YouTube recommends you click on. And if you don't click on it, honestly, nothing will happen, but try it. Maybe you'll have a good time. See you next time.